Hey, I'm Miss Hughes. I'm a high school English teacher from North Carolina, and today we're going to be talking about theme. Theme is something that a lot of students struggle with. So if you feel like you're struggling, never fear. You are going to master theme today. We're going to start by covering the difference between a summary, a main idea, or the central idea, and the theme. Those are three totally different things. And a lot of students get them confused, so let's start there. So a summary is going to be essentially what happens in the story. So it's going to answer the question, what happened in that story? What happened in that text? If I ask a friend, hey, you went to go see that movie, what was it about? You're going to give them most likely a summary of what happened in the movie. Same thing with the text. So a summary is going to be usually multiple sentences, and a summary is going to be a lot longer. It's not going to be obviously as long as the whole text, but it may be roughly a paragraph. Now the main idea is going to essentially answer the same question, but it's going to be a lot shorter. So I can give you the main idea or the central idea in only one sentence, but it's still going to answer the question, hey, what was that text about? So if I go to a friend and they've seen a movie and I say, hey, what was that movie about? I could give them the main idea and just give them one sentence. And that's kind of the difference between the two of those. So essentially, summary is going to be a lot longer, a lot more details. And a main idea is going to be just cut and dry, one sentence, and that's it. Some students also get the main idea and theme mixed up. So the difference there is theme is going to not be what the story is about. It's going to answer the question, what does the author want me to learn from this story? Which is totally different than what the story is about. So for example, we don't usually go up to our friends and say, hey, what was the lesson from that movie that you went to go see? We would say, what's the story about? So really, when you talk to your friends about movies and things that you've read or shows that you've watched, you're really asking them for a summary or a main idea. You're not asking them for the theme. Whereas your teacher may ask you for the theme. So remember, theme is going to answer the question, what does the author want me to learn from this story? Now, theme is going to be only one sentence, and it is not going to contain details about the story. And you're like, what? How can it do that? Well, if I gave you the summary or the main idea, I may talk about the characters. The character's name is Maggie. I may talk about the setting, right? I may say they were in North Carolina, right? And I may tell very specific things that happened in the story. The problem is for the theme, it has to be able to work for anybody, anywhere, anytime. And that means we really can't put a lot of details from the story about it. It has to be a message, a moral, a lesson that's going to work for anybody, anywhere, anytime. I would leave out things like the character's name, Maggie. I would leave out where it happened, North Carolina. I would leave out any specific details because this lesson needs to be a lesson that anybody could learn anywhere, anytime. So remember, that's really the difference between theme and then main idea and summary. Main idea and summary are going to have details from the story, and they're really going to be, what is this story about? Whereas theme is going to be, what does the author want me to learn from this story? Okay, and remember, it's going to only be one sentence, one sentence. How do I find the theme of a story or the text that I'm reading? Well, you have to start with a topic. So try to ask yourself the question, what do you think this author is trying to teach me about this topic? But you have to start kind of with the topic. So topics can be one word kind of ideas that you could pull from the text. The most famous one is going to be love, but there's a million other examples. Love, family, friendship, adventure, war, peace, responsibility. There's so many different topics. What you don't want to pick is a topic that's not going to work for anybody, anywhere, anytime. I don't know about you, but I don't really run into lions in my everyday life, so I wouldn't pick lions as my topic. But maybe I could pick fear, because fear is something that a lot of people would have to deal with, and it still may be related to the lions, but now I've made it work for anybody, anywhere, anytime. We all get scared sometimes and have to deal with fear. So once you pick the topic of what you think the text or the story is about, then you have to infer, what does the author want me to learn from the story about this topic? So if my topic is fear, I'm going to plug that word in, and I'm going to say, what does the author want me to learn from the story about fear? And that is going to be how I write my theme. Some people call this a theme statement, and essentially that's just your teacher reminding you that it needs to be a complete sentence. So for example, if my topic is fear, then maybe my theme statement is, it's okay to sometimes be scared. It can be really simple and still work. Now, I will warn you, you need to beware of Hobby Lobby themes. I call these Hobby Lobby themes because sometimes your themes are going to be so simple and so overused that if I went to Hobby Lobby right now, I could find pieces of wood that say them that people hang up in their houses as decoration. For example, love conquers all. We've heard that so much in our lives. Now that is an example of a theme, but I would maybe challenge you to come up with one that's a little bit more exciting or new as opposed to love conquers all. So beware the Hobby Lobby theme. Another one would be like, don't judge a book by its cover. Hobby Lobby theme. We've heard it so much in our lives. Try to come up with something a little bit more complex. So now let's practice. Let's use 2 movies that most people have seen, and hopefully you've seen them so you understand my examples. The first one is Toy Story, and I mean the OG original Toy Story 1, honey. So let's start. We start with a topic. So what is a topic that happens in Toy Story that we could write a theme about? Well, 4 that come to my mind really easy are going to be jealousy, could be a topic, change could be a topic, identity, and friendship. Those are 4 topics just straight off the top of my head that could come out of Toy Story. Now you're going to notice, in order to come up with the topic, you have to think about actual details that happened in the story. But we're not going to include those details when we write our theme statement. So we're going to pick our topic. So I'm going to say jealousy. Let's say that's my topic. Because, if you have to explain it, Woody is really jealous of Buzz, right? When he comes in and kind of takes over as Andy's favorite. So then I'm going to ask myself the question, what does the author want us to learn about jealousy from the story? So I had to think about the people that made Toy Story. What were they trying to teach me about jealousy? Now, the really simple thing to do would be, don't be jealous, right? That is not a really good theme. So maybe I can say something a little bit more complex. And remember, it has to be 1 complete sentence, and it has to work for anybody, anywhere, anytime. So I could say something like, be happy for who you are and not jealous for what others are. Ooh, that's a more complex theme. It works for anybody, anywhere, anytime. And it was based off of the topic, and it definitely answers the question, what does the author want me to learn about jealousy from Toy Story? So let's do another one. Let's do Finding Nemo. And let's do the OG Finding Nemo, not Finding Dory. So we start with a topic. So I'm going to think about things that happen in Finding Nemo. Okay, so here's 4. I may say trust, friendship, perseverance, adventure, right? 4 totally different topics. All of them come up in the story, and I could write a theme about any one of those. So maybe let's say I pick trust, right? And if I have to explain it, I would say something like Marlin, who's totally scared of like everything, has to learn to trust other people and to trust himself, which is a big step for him, right? And maybe that's kind of a lesson they want me to learn. So how can I turn that into a theme? Well, I don't want to say something like trust others. That's too simple. So let's make it more complex. Let's say sometimes you have to let your fears go and learn to trust others, right? There's our theme. And then I would be able to explain it with evidence from the story. And let's check it. Doesn't have details about the story. Works for anybody, anywhere, anytime. And it definitely answers the question, what does the author want us to learn about trust from Finding Nemo? So it works. That is my process for figuring out the theme of a text. One way that you can practice this is every time you watch a TV show or a movie or you read a text or you read a story, you can ask yourself the question, what does the author want me to learn about this specific topic from the story? And that can be a theme, and you can practice. Remember, the rules are, it has to be one complete sentence in order for it to be a theme statement. It has to work for anybody, anywhere, anytime. And it has to answer the question, what does the author want us to learn from the story based on this topic? Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.